Hi everyone, and welcome to Making Connections via LinkedIn, Who. My name is Annie Himmelsbach. I'm a career advisor at the GCMC. So as most of you likely already know, networking is very important in the job search, as 80 to 90% of jobs are filled via networking versus just the 10% that are filled from an online application. But there are lots of questions that come up around networking. So this mini-series will focus on creating one-to-one conversations and professional relationships via LinkedIn. So here's our mini agenda for the webinar. So first we're going to talk about levels of connection, then we're going to do a LinkedIn search demo, and then talk about next steps. So let's break down each facet of this process, starting with who. In other words, who are you trying to reach? I think about professional connections like a bullseye. In the center of the bullseye are people who are already in your network and who you know well. The next ring moving away from the center are your friends of friends connections, or someone you know well could introduce you to someone they know well. Next, in the third ring are connections that are a bit more loose. Perhaps you went to the same school as this person, or you are part of the same professional organization. And lastly, the people in this outermost ring are essentially strangers. This doesn't mean that you cannot reach out to them. It's a totally fine thing to do. However, as you move from the center of the bullseye outward, you will probably experience less traction in your connection requests. So start in the center with the people you already know, and you're more likely to receive a response to your outreach. So let's walk through what this actually looks like in LinkedIn. So it makes sense that the LinkedIn tool that I most often use begins in the search bar. So I'm going to go in here and search for people. And then I'm going to go to all filters. So obviously there are a bunch of different parameters that you can set here. The more parameters you set, the fewer results that you'll get. So I'm going to start with Baruch College. And then let's say I want to learn about what it's like to be a data analyst. And I could toggle first or second level connections, but I usually don't because I end up missing people that I might actually know, but I'm just not connected with yet. So let's click apply and see what comes up. So for example, I actually do know Sam a little bit. We've worked together at the GCMC. But I'm not connected with him. So because I have had some interaction with him, I might feel comfortable just, clicking connect and reaching out to him with a personalized LinkedIn invitation, which we'll talk more about in the second series. Or alternatively, I could look through my shared connections to Sam to see if there's someone that I know quite well, which would happen to be Dila. So I know Dila very well, so I might reach out to her and ask, do you know Sam? Would you feel comfortable introducing us? So let me show you an alternative way to do a search would be starting with schools. So I could go to Baruch College and then click on alumni. So this shows me basically all the alumni from Baruch who are on LinkedIn. Let's say that I wanted to speak with someone who graduated maybe within the last couple of years. So that would be someone who's a little bit more junior, maybe a little bit more approachable. And I wanted to talk to someone who worked at Grant Thornton. So for our purposes, we don't necessarily need someone who lives in the greater New York City area. We could have a phone chat or a Zoom chat. So I might go through here, and if I wanted to talk to someone who was an auditor, for example, I might decide that Allison was someone that I wanted to talk to. So outside of this, I highly recommend watching my colleague Tanuja Ramshal's video on our GCMC YouTube channel, and her video is called The Guide to Informational Interviews. It's a great end-to-end video which covers everything from the fear of networking to the actual in-person conversation, to follow up. So in the next installment of my little series, we'll talk about what to actually say in those little text boxes that you should be personalizing with your LinkedIn connection request. See you then.